Good morning, everybody. Good morning, June, Heather, Teresa, Jane, another Jane, Sarah, Jeanette, Margaret. Oh, loads of you here today. So thank you. That's lovely. Thank you for sparing some of your time to come and join me this morning. First of all, I do apologise for the late announcement that was going to do it. I forgot all about putting it on there. I had a visit from my lovely sister, who I haven't seen for ages, and yesterday evening, and I forgot all about it. I forgot to put it on the website, so I do apologise for that. So we have got one of our card kits today. So this is the first card kit, and the other one I will be launching on Wednesday. So I'm doing it in two pieces. So this one is very much the feminine one. And then come Wednesday rather, I'll be launching the male one, not the male version of this, a completely different card. So what are you going to get in your card kit? Well, this is the lovely Magnolia card kit. I know Magnolia is not really around at this time of the year, but I just thought it was lovely. So it's a stamp. So we have a stamped image here, and we have a trifold card with some beautiful Magnolia papers on. And then when you open it up, you've got your sentiment there. So obviously this can stand up like that. So it's quite a pretty one, and you've got all the papers so you can mix and match and do what you like. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. I've also got this on a little sort of belly band. You will get a belly band in your already pre-cut in your kit. Although I must point out at this stage that the design will vary. It may be patterned paper, it may be coloured paper, but it's all from this set. So it all sort of mixes and matches and goes together very nicely, and then fits onto your card like that. By the way, the belly band is made from one of the Firth tag dies from John Next Door Firth tags. So what will you get in your kit? You will get a full pack of this Spring Horizon Papers by Paper Tree, which is 16 sheets in all of these beautiful designs. I'll just whiz through them so that you can see. You've got this lovely sort of very, very pale, well, olivey, almost olivey grey. I don't know what colour you'd call it, really beautiful though, of just like little flowers. You've got Magnolia flowers here, slightly larger version, and again a slightly different one again. Oh, that's the same. You've got a beautiful pink one, you've got the little tiny one, you've got the dots, and there's one more, that one, which is the sort of little diamonds as well. So that's really very nice, and that is your decorative papers. Then you've got with it the essential card collection, which is something that you know that I'm very fond of, the fact that it all matches. So you've got 16 sheets in all here, and you've got all the different coloured cards that pick out the exact colours that have been used in your format here. So they all mix and match beautifully. So you've got a pack of that as well. So you've got enough to make loads of cards. You've obviously got your card blank as well. And you have got the lovely Magnolia stamp, which is from Nellie Snellen. There are a few others in this range, so if you are interested in looking, you can go onto the website on the Facebook Live section, and you will see the other ones that are just used with this Magnolia set here. So this one, now that is slightly misleading because this one's called Magnolia, and there's another one called Magnolia Flower. They are quite different, and I'm afraid to say they're not, you know, there's nothing different in that sort of respect in terms of names, but this is the one that I'm going to be using today. Okay, so let us make the card. I have already chosen some of these beautiful papers to work with, and I'm going to bring them over here. So the colours that I've chosen to work with is this deep pink. So that's rather nice. And then I've got the lighter pink here. I'm going to work with this little diamond because I think that's rather nice. And then I've got one of the Magnolia papers. I've got my blank white card, and I've also got another sheet of card for the middle section, which I've already cut out, and the infamous belly band that we're going to put on as well. So you will be getting all of your papers. You'll be getting a card blank, two sheets for a card blank of white card, your belly band, your stamp, everything you need apart from your glue and your inks, which I'm sure everybody has. So let us, without further ado, get going. So this is my card base. Now it's from an A4, and you could fold this in 3 and then it would be exactly right. But I decided that actually trying to do measurements of an A3 in just trying to mix it into 3 is easier to get an even number to start off with. So therefore I have trimmed the whole piece down, just taken a centimetre off so that it is 28.5 centimetres long. I haven't taken any off of here at all, so 28.5 centimetres long. And then that way I've got easy to score. So I'm going to score at 9.5, like that. And then I'm going to turn it around just for easiness, and I'm going to score at 9.5 there as well. And then that's makes life easy. So that's my card base. I'm going to fold one way and one the other. So one like that and one like that. So we have got our trifold there, and that needs to now go to one side and wait until we get all our loveliness onto it. So let's take some of the card papers. Now we're going to need 2 pieces from here. So the card measurements are all the same, and in the kit you will be given a measurement that will tell an instruction sheet to tell you all about it. So we need 2 pieces from here that are 9 centimetres by 20.5. So I'm just taking a little sliver off of there. Let's take another one. So another 9 centimetres by 20.5. So that's just taking 0.5 centimetre off our piece of card. So that's those 2 pieces. And to go with those 2 pieces, I'm going to take that from my diamonds. So I'm going to trim this to 20 centimetres because this is going to go a panel inside. I'm going to trim that piece so that I know it's already done. 20 centimetres, and then 2 pieces that are 8.5, and they will fit nicely in the front there. So I'm just taking off 0.5 centimetre all the way round. So then these pieces will fit in there with a nice little border all the way around. You can see that. So 2 pieces like that. Then we're going to go over to my other piece here. Now we need 3 pieces from this piece of card. So I'm going to cut this at 20.5 centimetres right from the word go. So that makes life easier. 20.5. And these pieces need to be 9 because this is the first panel. So lots of cutting, but it does look lovely. And then 2 pieces of my lovely Magnolia card here. So 2 pieces from here. So I'm going to take that to 20 centimetres. So I want my flowers to go that way round. And 2 pieces at 8.5. And then I've already cut out my piece for the centre, which is also 8.5 centimetres by 20. So that's my piece for the centre. Now I will need another piece for my flower to go into, but I will stamp my flower and then trim that down afterwards. So we'll pop that to one side for now, and we'll get sticking and popping that together. and also doing a little bit of stamping. I think we need to do that as well. So, whoops, let me just get my card out. And we'll do our beautiful Magnolia stamp. So I've just taken a small piece of card here and my stamping platform, and I'm going to put my card up into that corner and then take my stamp. Now, I'm going to use VersaFine Grey rather than black, because I think that would be a better, it's softer, so I think that's better. So I'm just going to pick that stamp up, and I'm going to take my VersaFine in Smoky Grey, so any grey, whoops, will be fine. And I'm just going to ink that up. Nice lot of detail in these stamps, which is lovely. And then just press that down so that I've got my stamped image. Oh, missed a bit. That's better. So beautiful. Lots of detail and yet very simplistic. Obviously, you can make your branch go in any way, but I wanted it to be fairly upright because it's going to go onto my long card, but you could bring this in from the corner or anything else that you'd like to do. So I'm just going to set that to one side for a second, and I'm now actually going to put my stamp onto an acrylic block. Now let's just put it onto this one. I don't really want, there we are. I don't want to do it on my stamping platform, what I'm next going to do, because I want it to be a bit random, and I find it difficult to stamp randomly with a stamping platform. I'm sure that you can, but I prefer to not to. So that's what we're going with that. So I'm going to take a spare piece of card, and I'm going to take my white piece that is my centerpiece. You can just about see that on there. And I'm going to still take my grey, and I'm going to ink up the whole of my image, but I'm not going to be using the whole of my image. So I'm just going to hover it above where I think I'd like it to come in, and I think I'm going to go for there. So that's coming in at an angle in the corner, and I'm just taking that so that there's a bit coming in, okay? And you probably see what I mean about the fact that it's a bit more difficult to use a stamping platform with this. So I'm going to bring in another little bit coming in from here. Let's go like that. So just part taking the stamp. And then I know that I want to put a sentiment around about here. So I'm going to go randomly in the bottom corner here. Perhaps going to go that way, so that we're stamping up from there. And then I missed a bit there. Never mind. And then we'll go coming back down that way. Like that. So we've got a flower coming in here. And I'm just going to do a little tiny bit on the edges. So just coming in just a little tiny bit on those edges. Okay, so I've now got my sort of whole area covered there with a little bit more of my beautiful Magnolia flower. And before I put that away, I am going to put this back into my stamping platform to pop sentiment on. So that can go there. And then I'm going to pop my sentiment in the center there, but then I've got enough room to write on there as well. So I'm going to ink that in the same. Obviously, with the kit, you will need to add your own sentiment. So, you know, that's entirely up to you, whatever sentiment you want to use. So I will pop this away, but I have got one more sentiment that I want to add to it in just a little while, but that we will leave it with that at the moment. So now I'm going to do a little bit of colouring. Now I've chosen to use some Pro markers. By golly, they are old. But any alcohol markers or watercolor pens would be okay. Watercolor pens, sort of okay, because you don't want to saturate it, because the card that you're going to get is not watercolor card. It's super smooth card, ideal for stamping, but not necessarily for watercoloring. It would tend to bend a bit. So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to use, the color is Blossom, but it's as similar as I can to the pink there. And I'm just going to colour in my beautiful magnolias. Now you can colour in as precisely and, you know, as much as you like. You can just colour in with the one colour and that be it, that you've coloured it, or you can go to town and pick out your what am I saying? Your shadows. And the beauty of these is that you've got the shadows already put in. So I'm just going to colour in, and then I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm just colouring in to start off with. Now, whilst I'm doing that, I will just say thank you very much to the ladies that joined me in the first workshop of June online yesterday. We had a great afternoon, and some lovely projects made, which they will hopefully show you next week after the next group of people have had a go at theirs. People like to have an element of surprise, so that's quite nice. Just do that little bud there as well. So to give ourselves a bit more texture almost to it, all of these little hashes here, all of these dark pieces are the pieces where the shadows are. So if you want to make it look a bit more so, if you then go over those shadows once more with the same colour that you have used, then you will find that it will take up another sort of a look, which is really pretty. So I'm just going over on the flower only any of the areas that are a little bit shaded, and hopefully you can see, I'm not sure if you can see actually from where you are, but you can see that just by going over, layering the colours, you will find that it gives you a bit more of a colour of your card. I am no colourist, but I do find that just simplistic ways of just putting a little bit more colour onto here really, really works. So I've gone over once, and then just to add a bit more colour, I'm going to go over again, and then it should really show. So it's just picking up wherever the colour is really, and just going over. But if you just prefer just to do it the once, that's absolutely fine, and it will all still look just as lovely. So that is my magnolia coloured in like that. And then I've got another colour pro marker, and this one's called Fresh Meadow, and I'm just going to go down with the leaves. I have tried to pick out the green and the pink that are as close to the green and pink that are in the papers here. And I think that that looks, if you have got a selection of pens and colours, that does look the best if you can do it. But I know that not everybody have got masses, but I just think that that looks nice if you can get that. So this is sort of like an olivey green rather than, you know, a bright green or a dark green. So I think that looks quite nice. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of colour on these ones. So I'm not going to be too over fussy with these. And I'm leaving a lot of white, so I'm not colouring these in all completely. I'm just putting a hint of a colour onto these. So wherever the flower is, got to work out where the flower is really. So I know it might look a bit random, but I think that rather than colouring it all in, it just looks quite nice just to colour in and give a hint of a colour. So just almost like a scribble really. And if you're doing watercolours, it's even easier to do it like this. But I think be brave. And don't feel that you've got to colour absolutely every part in. Leaving some white can look really rather attractive. And I have to say, anyone can colour like this, can't they? But if you're not looking at it closely and you haven't seen one before, I think just giving it a hint of a colour. And I'm not going to put the green on here. I'm going to leave the leaves with just the grey, because again, I think that that looks quite nice. So I'm going to cut this little precious one down. Now, I haven't told you a measurement with which to put this down to, because it is a case of trimming it until you're happy with how it's gone. So I will try and end up with a measurement that is easy to, so like an even measurement, a sort of a 7.5 type of job or something like that. I think 7.5, 7 would probably be ideal, but I've got to try and even out the measurements so that I haven't got too much taken, whoops, from one side. Let's take another little slither off of there and then even that up to, taking it to 7 there. So that's 7 wide. And then let's go to 10. So 7 by 10, my little card is there. Okay. Now I need to cut a border for it, and that is going to be the same colour as my front pieces. So it's going to be from that piece there. So that needs to be simply 0.5 centimetre bigger all the way around. So we were 7 by 10. So we want a piece that's 7.5 by 10.5. And that's going to give us a lovely front there. And that little one goes on there. Now, I said there was one more little sentiment I wanted, and that one is, let's just pop that. I have put on my card sample a little small sentiment there, like this one, which just says for you there, because I think that just sort of finishes that part off. So just grab the sentiment. Oh, she says, well, you would have thought that would have lost something, wouldn't you? Here we go. And I'm just going to be very brave and pop it on with one of these. So I'm going to again take my grey colour. If you haven't got grey, black is okay. But I just think grey looks rather nice. Just hover that in over there. And whoops, we've got our lovely sentiment going there as well. So let's pop all this together and you can see what a pretty, pretty card this will make. Take all my bits away here as well. Okay, lots of gluing and sticking coming up. Coming up. So I'm just going to burnish my card base so that's nice and flat. So this is my card base. So my card front, we need a panel. So we go with our dark panel first. So this is the front of the card. Okay, whoops. So I thought I would do 2 card kits for you this month. So we've got a feminine one, as I said, today, although it could be for anyone I know. But then a masculine one, which again could be for anyone really. And that one's coming up on Wednesday. So hopefully you'll be able to join me on Wednesday morning for that at 11. And then we've got sort of more workshops and everything. Whilst I'm thinking of workshops, for the people that I did see yesterday, thank you very much for your feedback, everybody. It was really nice to hear sort of thoughts of how things were going, which I was really pleased to read. There's my card front. I'm going to open that up, and my other dark piece is going to go on the first page that I would look at, which is this back page really. So that's going to go on there, and that's with the same coloured paper. Just love these colours of this one. So pretty. Whoops. Such a pretty colour. And then that piece goes on there. And again, when you've got the whole pack there, you have got loads to do. So it works out really, very well. Just pop that in there. Now, then when we open it up, our other panels are going to go into the centre. So we'll pop our panels in. If we were to have any DL nesting dies, these would be super just to be cutting out, wouldn't they? Just saying, just saying. Which reminds me, we have got this evening at 6 o'clock. Don't forget to join John Lockwood over on the craft store for the launch of the Deco collection and the beautiful thistle flower, which is, and leaves, matching leaves, which will be coming out this evening from 6 o'clock. Our panel goes in the centerpiece here, because when we open up our card, that's what we'll be looking at. Isn't that pretty? That beautiful pink. So pleased I chose that colour pen. I think that goes really well with it. And then a bit of glue on this side. So if you do choose that you would like to take part of your card kit, don't forget you've always got this video to refer to, and you've got written instructions as well. So if some people learn by watching, and some people learn by reading, and some people learn by doing. So all different ways, but it all sort of works. So this is the inside of our card. And if we fold it up, we're now looking at that. So it all still matches because we've got all colours from the same papers and things. And then we've got our lovely one to go on the front. And then I'm just going to finish off this. So I'm going to stick this piece onto my panel. And then we're just going to make a little belly band up. Just get that. So the belly band clearly will not fit all the way round, but that's okay, because as long as we can't see the fold, the join or the non-join, and that's what we're going to cover this with. So I'm going to take it from behind my card. So I've turned this over, and I'm going to wrap this around. Now, not tightly, because if I wrap it round really tightly, I'll never get it off. So I'm just wrapping it around loosely, okay? And I'm just bringing that, and that is quite loose, just even pushing it out a bit so that it will be able to come up and down. I then need to pop my bit of glue on that side and on that end, so that when I pop this down on top, that's the bits that will stick. It's no good sticking something to the back of here, because we won't know where that will be, and then it might stick onto the front of the card. So we don't really want that. So I'm just going to pop that, that's nice and even, onto my belly band, and then just press down roughly where I think the glue is. Now you could put another one of these panels on the actual front of the card, so that when you take this off, you've got another one matching one of those that goes on there if you wish, but that's entirely up to you. It does add a bit more bulk. Shouldn't have taken that off quite so early, because it won't get a chance to set. Can't see what I'm doing. Can't see what I'm doing. Right, pay attention, Maxine. Must be careful when you're putting it on and off when you first set it, because you don't want to catch it there. So your two versions, both from the same kit, same possibilities, just different papers. All of the papers are there for you to choose, whether you want the greens or the creams or the pinks. They are all there for you to choose. All you have to do is add your own ink and your own sentiments, because you might want them for something completely different, and I've just put them sort of a generic thing. So I hope you have enjoyed watching today for our June launch of our June card kit, all available over on the Maximum Craft website, and it's under the Facebook Live section, which is where you'll find all of the other stamps that go with that as well. And you will also find some of the other bits and pieces that go with it. It is also available on the monthly card kit section, but that's just the card kit itself. Okay, so let me just check what people are saying. Oh, but obviously been saying things that I haven't been paying attention to. So, we're going to have a go at some different type of cards. Yeah. I have seen so many of the diamond point card. It's lovely, really very, very lovely. So I hope you have enjoyed the kit. I hope you have the rest of a very, very good weekend. Hope the sun is shining on you. And it is here. It's trying anyway, but at least it's not too hot. We can cope with that. I'll be back on Wednesday. Don't forget, this evening, 6 o'clock, launch of the Deco collection and the amazing thistle flower. Love it. Love it. Okay, take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.